Hello, my name is Angie Evans, and I'm a Russia analyst at the Institute for the Study of War. The U.S. government is currently withholding military assistance, monetary support, and intelligence from the Ukrainian government as part of its strategy to pressure Ukraine into peace negotiations with Russia. Ukrainian forces, enabled by U.S. and European military assistance and intelligence sharing, have been able to inflict significant casualties and destroy significant amounts of Russian materiel over the last 3 years. Ukrainian forces have leveraged U.S.-provided shells and MLRS systems to damage and destroy almost 10,000 Russian tanks and inflict over 800,000 Russian casualties since February 2022. Ukrainian forces have also used U.S.-provided HIMARS and ATACMS systems to destroy Russian command posts along the front line over the last 8 months, and have significantly complicated Russian logistics and command and control structures in near-rear areas. Ukrainian forces have also leveraged their own long-range strike capabilities and U.S. targeting support to strike Russian oil depots to constrain Russia's ability to fund its war effort, and Russian ammunition, missile, and drone warehouses to constrain Russia's ability to strike rear cities of Ukraine and destroy frontline Ukrainian positions. Ukrainian strikes against Russian ammunition and missile storage facilities in September 2024 reportedly destroyed several months' worth of Russian shells and complicated Russian offensive operations in Ukraine. The current pause and possible end of U.S. aid to Ukraine will almost certainly impact Ukraine's ability to defend against Russian offensive operations and strikes in the coming months. Ukraine's European allies are working to address Ukraine's most critical needs in the event of a long-term pause or the end of U.S. aid. However, the United States remains the only country that can provide certain critical systems, such as air defense, at the quality and quantity that Ukraine needs to sustain its war effort. Ukrainian forces rely on U.S.-provided Patriot air defense systems to defend civilians against nightly Russian drone and missile strikes. And the cessation of Patriot missile supplies to Ukraine will leave Ukrainians more vulnerable to Russian ballistic missile strikes in the coming months. Curtailing U.S. aid to Ukraine also risks diminishing U.S. influence in the world and emboldening U.S. adversaries. Russia, Iran, China, and North Korea have formed a military bloc aimed at defeating the United States and its allies around the world, and are currently testing the limits of U.S. commitment to its allies in Europe, the Middle East, and the Asia-Pacific region. U.S. aid to Ukraine is a demonstration of the United States' commitment to defending democracies against ongoing and future aggression around the world, including but not limited to Ukraine, Israel, South Korea, and Taiwan. The Russia-led bloc will likely see the United States abandoning Ukraine as an indicator that the United States will abandon its other allies and will seek to test the limits of U.S. commitment around the world. Cutting aid to Ukraine plays directly into our adversaries' goals of isolating the United States and limiting our influence. ISW continues to assess that Russian President Vladimir Putin and not Ukrainian President Volodymyr Zelensky is the main obstacle to peace in Ukraine. Putin and other Kremlin officials have explicitly rejected the possibility of a ceasefire in Ukraine and continue to reject U.S. and European proposals for Russian territorial concessions or the deployment of European peacekeepers to Ukraine as part of a future peace agreement. Putin remains committed to his goal of conquering and subjugating Ukrainians, and only significant economic and battlefield pressures will force Putin to make concessions at the negotiating table. The United States is currently placing significant pressure on Ukraine, but there is no hope for peace in Ukraine while Putin remains committed to his genocidal and imperialistic ambitions. Thanks for listening, and please subscribe to ISW for more updates on Russia's war in Ukraine.